Thank you, and good morning. Let me first introduce the team from the Opinion Department. Amanda Fiscina is the Manager of Research and Digital Production, and Sam Guzik is Editor for Strategy and Digital Platforms. And you'll hear all the exciting plans they have in just a bit. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the index too. The accomplishments are a tribute to the vision and passion of Nancy and the inspired direction of Anne. Sam, Amanda, and I witnessed their dedication and determination as they sought to find this new home for the index. We met with the Roush Foundation Board. The members asked all the right questions many times. They tested our assumptions and generously shared their insights. We are very excited about this opportunity and appreciate the confidence they have in our vision. I'd also like to acknowledge our Newsday colleagues. It's not just the three of us standing here, but an entire team in Melville that is standing with us. And the commitment to this project goes to the top. I especially would like to thank publisher Debbie Krennick and owner Pat Dolan. So why Newsday? Okay, I'm going to try to answer that. I'd like to think it's because the Index and Newsday have the same underlying mission, to give accurate information to Long Islanders that will enable them to make smart choices. When the Index released its first report in 2004, the editorial board wrote, "The value of the Index is that it provides regional policymakers with the same to-do list. It will be up to them to turn that list into workable regional policy." We also said that it should be required reading for all the region's movers and shakers, now here you all are, but also that it was very important to deserve the scrutiny from just plain residents. Now, I don't know how plain ever got through the copy list. And Bob Killer, who I suspect wrote it, is here. He denies anything for putting plain. But what the target audience of our project is those plain residents. Those plain residents and enabling them to talk back to the movers and shakers in this room. The defining achievement of the index is that it demanded all of us respond to the social and economic challenges facing us. The irrefutable data and reports allowed no escape from the conclusion that we just can't go on like this. Many of the seeds the index planted are coming to fruition. I heard Pat Boyd this morning said that the shovel is already in the ground for the third track. You see Dave's development report. There's many other downtown regional developments propping up in villages and towns around the island, and much open space has been preserved. Problems like segregation still exist, but the index was relentless and fearless in highlighting, particularly the racial inequalities of our educational system. It's a continuing disgrace of the region, but the index refused to let us collectively sweep the problem under our rug. For that, they deserve much credit. Of all the numbers and comparisons the index has given us, my personal favorite, and we saw it on the screen earlier in the latest report, is that the residents of Nassau and Suffolk counties, more than any of the satellite counties around New York City, Westchester, New Jersey, Connecticut, where they are. It's Long Islanders who identify the strongest with their region. Why is that? I've always had a lot of silly theories, and I just thought maybe I'd share some of them for the first time. Is it our geography? Does the water that surrounds us make us more insular? Perhaps it's the shared misery of our transit spinal cords, the railroad, and the Long Island Expressway. Long Island and both of those, railroad and expressway. Maybe it's just easier to say LI than tell people how to spell Spianka. Or maybe it was the insight of Newsday's founders to cover this emerging suburb as a singular place with shared interests and shared lifestyles. When I joined the editorial board 10 years ago, one of the first things I learned was that a new index report was a very big deal. The board would get an advanced copy, we'd argue about the findings, we did a lot of arguing there, and parse the data. Those numbers were the fresh details we needed to remind our readers of the challenges we were not facing again and again. So we would react. We'd react by writing editorials, signing op-eds, publishing letters to the editor. But growing from the seeds the index planted has been a slow process. So our proposal to the Roush Foundation, quite simply, was we're going to speed that up. So I want to use two words that I would absolutely X out of copy if it came across my desk, but I really conceding that they actually will help me explain what we're doing, and that's empower and disrupt. nextLI is a digital platform that empowers those plain Long Islanders we described in that 2004 editorial. Now they will have a website, a dynamic one, to find all of this information and to customize it to their concerns. Instead of writing a letter to the editor, they will be able to post essays, first-person essays, talking about why they can't find a home, why they're in their parents' attic, why their education is not good. There'll be a place to have these conversations with each other, maybe to argue, but at least listen and understand the fears and concerns of people who don't want change. It'll be a place where Long Islanders can find common ground and allies. And that's where the disruption part comes in. nextLI can break down the many silos that you've seen in this report and you heard Dave and Nancy and Ann talk about. The many local government structures, which in a way pen us in and don't free us to kind of demand what we want. We can't get to the larger audience. So from Noyak to New Hyde Park, we hope to create communities of interest, whether it's transit, whether it's housing, whatever they want. They can share best practices, they can share what they are doing in their own communities, so people can learn from each other. So, picture this. Flash mobs of residents coming out to support zoning change. I think it can happen, it can happen. And it did in 1947. 2 years after World War II ended, and 2 years after Alicia Patterson staked a claim to Long Island, her newspaper relentlessly advocated for the quick and low-cost construction of new homes for the returning sailors and soldiers who wanted to start families. But there was strong opposition to all of these projects. On the day of the zoning hearing for the biggest proposal yet, more than 800 people overwhelmed Hempstead Town Hall and the streets surrounding it. Builder William Levitt was inside, promising them a future, and Long Islanders were outside, demanding that it be delivered. The next day, Newsday, and I wish I had the headline, was Board OK's Cellarless Houses. Cellarless houses is exactly a keeper of a headline, but it actually made the point very well. It was a zoning change to eliminate Hempstead Town's requirements that all homes needed a cellar, and that allowed Levitt to build them more inexpensively. So we believe, once again, that there's a new generation of Long Islanders who will demand a direct role in shaping their future. They don't want to leave, they just want to start their lives. Our digital tools will empower those who want to disrupt the stranglehold of the few over the needs of the many. So, bottom line, the wonderful research will continue. The research we need is our foundation, but we have plans to do so much more, and here is Sam and Amanda to explain them to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you to explain this nextLI idea that we've been working on for almost 2 years now, and to tell you a little bit about it. At the core of the index has always been the idea that good data will drive good policy. And that's an important idea that we really think is key to continue. The surveys, the maps, the indicators that the Long Island Index was able to bring together are critical pieces to how we understand our region and how we move forward. But as we thought about nextLI, we tried to think about what else we could bring to the table, what else we could do to shape our region and bring it to expand. And the piece that we really wanted to add to that is that good data and informed discourse will drive good policy. Because for us, it's really important that the discourse and debate about our future touches all Long Islanders, and that everyone has the opportunity to participate in this conversation about where we're going as our future. And this is very different work from the traditional work of the editorial board. This isn't advocacy. This isn't sort of the very firm bottom line that the editorial board has typically taken. This is a very different kind of community building. This is really going out to people and asking them, what is it that you need to make your life better? What is it that you need to shape the future? And we really do believe at our core that a moderated forum can be a place where that can happen. We believe in the idea that we can build a place where people can listen to one another, that they can hear each other's concerns, and that they can maybe start to understand a little bit across the different community lines and really have a truly regional space. And so to talk a little bit about the specific tools that we're going to use, Amanda's going to explain that. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Our goal is to become the main online gathering place for Long Islanders to talk, debate, and listen to each other about the future of our region. To do that, the nextLI site will offer data-driven resources and content for Long Islanders to comment on in a moderated forum. When you land on the site, you'll see the independent research continuing in the tradition of the index, those deep dives into big questions the area faces, maps to explore regional trends and data, interactive tools to quantify how public policy decisions play out in your life, voices of Long Islanders that tell the stories of how all these numbers touch reality here. Those will be conveyed through essays, live stream videos, podcasts, Q&As, and roundtable discussions with experts, probably a lot of you in this room. And we're giving you a reason to stop by every single day. Daily data posts, like this one, will offer regional indicators or interesting numbers paired with context about why these facts matter here. At the end, there will always be a question for readers to answer to start important conversations that we've been talking about here. We want these daily posts to stretch the imaginations of Long Islanders. In this case, we're postulating how artificial intelligence and robotics will affect our economy and our lifestyles. So how will that drone delivering groceries on your front steps change things here on Long Island? It will certainly impact the workforce, the traffic, and more. And it's something we want the community to really start contemplating. Exactly a week ago today, I became an aunt for the first time. Sorry, no picture. But she's adorable. And we really want my niece and her generation to grow up on the best Long Island possible. And we believe a site like this will be a step towards that. Our hope is that Next Long Island will push the region to stop planning for past realities and be more adaptable to whatever the future may bring.
And part of the idea of this site is this is really a site that is going to depend on everyone in this room, because we really mean it when we say this is a site that will depend on our community. And so we really are going to depend on all of you to go back to your organizations, your groups, your communities, to share the word about this. And we're going to be over the summer, we'll be going out and telling people more, but that work starts now. And so as soon as the event is done, I really want all of you to take out your phones and go to next.newsday.com. And you'll see a page that looks just like this, where you can put in your email address and you can start to learn about the work that we're doing and follow along with us. Because again, this is work that's going to depend on everyone to come along and do that. Thank you so much.